Imagine paying $69 million for a JPEG. Not a painting, not a sculpture, not even a print, a file that anyone on Earth could right-click and save to their desktop for free in 3 seconds. And yet, on March 11th, 2021, that's exactly what happened. A digital artist named Beeple sold a collage of images through Christie's auction house for $69 million. The buyer got a token, a receipt on a blockchain, a string of code that said, "This is yours." Whether that meant anything at all was a question nobody seemed to be asking, because everyone was too busy trying to get rich. NFT stands for non-fungible token, which sounds intimidating, but the concept is actually simple. Something is fungible if it's interchangeable. A dollar bill is fungible. $1 is the same as any other dollar. A Bitcoin is fungible. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Non-fungible means unique, one of a kind, not interchangeable with anything else. An NFT is a digital certificate of ownership recorded on a blockchain. An immutable, decentralized ledger that nobody can alter. When you buy an NFT, you're not buying the image itself. You're buying a record that says, "I am the verified owner of this thing." The thing itself, the art, the video, the tweet, can still be copied by anyone. What you own is the entry in the ledger. Think of it like owning the original of a painting that's been reproduced on 10 million coffee mugs. You have the original certificate. Everyone else has a mug. Whether that distinction has value, well, that's where it gets complicated. Every financial mania in history has had a moment, a precise, identifiable moment, where logic left the room. For NFTs, that moment was 2021, and it moved faster than almost anything before it. So, let's go back. In early 2021, the NFT market was worth maybe $40 million. By the end of that same year, it was worth $25 billion. That's not growth, that's delirium. Overnight, everyone was minting. Artists, musicians, athletes, celebrities, fast food brands, the Associated Press. People were creating NFTs of their tweets, their sneezes, their children's drawings. CryptoPunks, a collection of 10,000 pixelated faces, originally given away for free, were selling for millions of dollars apiece. The Bored Ape Yacht Club became a status symbol more coveted than a Rolex. Owners were using their apes as Twitter profile pictures to signal membership in a new kind of elite. NBA Top Shot was selling video clips of basketball highlights. Moments anyone could watch for free on YouTube, for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Celebrities spent millions. Neymar reportedly paid over $1 million for Bored Apes. Justin Bieber bought one for about $1.3 million. Snoop Dogg amassed collections worth several millions. And the logic, at the time, went like this. The internet is the future. Digital ownership is real ownership. This is early. Get in now or get left behind. It was the oldest story in finance, wearing a very new costume. I remember reading about NFTs in early 2021 and genuinely not knowing what to think. The technology was real, the use cases were plausible, and the people buying weren't all idiots. Some of them understood blockchains better than most economists. But there was something else happening too. Something older. The desperate, very human need to believe you found the thing everyone else is about to discover. The peak came in January 2022. NFT trading volume hit $17 billion in that month alone. And then, it stopped. Not slowly, not gradually. It stopped the way a wave stops when it finally hits the shore. By September 2022, just 8 months later, trading volume had fallen 97%. 97%. Projects that sold for tens of thousands of dollars were worthless. Celebrity NFT collections, from Paris Hilton, from Justin Bieber, from countless others, had lost between 80 and 99% of their value. Bored Apes, once worth hundreds of thousands, were selling for less than their original mint price. A 2023 study found that 95% of NFT collections had reached a floor price of zero. The people who got in early, sold at the peak, and got out, they made fortunes. The people who arrived in late 2021 holding digital assets nobody wanted anymore, they were left with nothing, just a certificate of ownership for a JPEG that anyone could right-click. So what actually happened? The simple answer is speculation without utility. The dream of NFTs was that digital ownership would become as meaningful as physical ownership, that a verified digital asset could hold value the way a painting or a house does. But for that to work, you need two things: a reason to own the asset beyond its price going up, and a community large enough to sustain demand. Most NFT projects had neither. They were sold as memberships to exclusive clubs that had nothing to offer, as art by creators with no track record, as collectibles with no cultural staying power. The celebrities who endorsed them often sold their own holdings while encouraging fans to buy in. The influencers who promoted them were frequently paid to do so, without disclosing it, and the entire market ran on a feedback loop that only works one way. When prices go up, people buy. When prices stop going up, people have no reason to hold. There was also something more structural at work. NFTs are only as valuable as the platform that hosts them. When marketplaces closed, when servers went down, when companies went bankrupt, some NFTs literally stopped loading. You owned the certificate. The image was gone. Here's the part that rarely makes the headlines. Behind the memes about right-clicking, behind the satire and the schadenfreude, there are real people who lost real money. Artists who minted their life's work, paid gas fees to list it, watched the market collapse before a single sale. Young investors who put in savings they couldn't afford to lose, because every voice they followed online told them this was the future. Communities that formed around these projects, genuine friendships, genuine belonging, that dissolved overnight when the financial incentive disappeared. I don't think everyone who participated in NFTs was greedy or foolish. I think most of them were doing what humans have always done, following the signal of the crowd, trusting that where everyone else is going must be worth going. The crowd, this time, was running off a cliff. Okay, a few things worth knowing before you write the whole chapter off. First, the underlying technology didn't disappear. Blockchain-based provenance, the ability to prove authenticity and ownership of digital things, is a real problem that needs a real solution. In industries like music rights, supply chain verification, and gaming assets, the core idea of NFTs is still being developed. Second, some artists genuinely benefited. For a window of time, digital artists who had spent years making work that couldn't be sold suddenly had a market. Some of them, the ones who understood what was happening, made life-changing money and got out before the floor fell. Third, the crash didn't end crypto or blockchain. Bitcoin survived. Ethereum survived. The technology marched on. NFTs were a chapter, a loud, expensive, embarrassing chapter, but a chapter. What the NFT boom and bust actually proved is something markets prove over and over again. A real technology does not protect you from an unreal price. The NFT era lasted maybe 18 months at full intensity. In that time, it made some people rich, left many more with nothing, and permanently changed how we think about ownership, art, and the internet. There's something almost poignant about it. This collective, global attempt to make digital things matter. To say, this file, this moment, this pixel arrangement, this is worth something. The desire underneath that impulse isn't stupid. It's very human. We live in a world where so much of what we love is intangible. Music we stream but don't own, photos we post but can't hold, relationships we maintain through screens. The question of what it means to own something in a digital world is a real question. NFTs just answered it with a speculative bubble instead of a real answer. We're still waiting for the real answer. If you want to keep exploring stories like this, the ones about money and belief and the things we reach for, subscribe to Neptune Vault, because the next bubble is already inflating somewhere, and it always looks different from the last one.